Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Thank you for listening into our presentation. I just want to make a quick opening. When I joined the industry in the end of 1980, which is quite a long time ago, the whole CARA marketing was at the end of the whole chain, especially in the leasing company. Nobody really took interest. You always sold the car better than residual value. It was okay. That had changed. What had changed as well, we're becoming a very strong arm in our industry. CARA marketing is key, and therefore we have to get the best people to do the best jobs. Saying that, we decided in CARA, in the board, that we should do something on training people, because what we have the same is we all have to sell cars, we all have to defleet cars, we sell them now to B2B and B2C. And therefore we started to make a sort of a program which hopefully will start by the first quarter in 2021. And we are happy that we got an expert who is happily supporting us in setting up the academy and even doing the training. And therefore, Ian, I would like to give the word over to you.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang. So just by way of a short introduction, my name is Ian Wright. I run a small business called Automotive Performance Development. 30 odd years, a little like Wolfgang, I've seen the industry evolve. Our role effectively has been to support performance improvement through used vehicles and remarketing, and ultimately to create a win. So Wolfgang asked me to get involved in training as a topic which is very close to my heart. For those of you that have been in on the live stage this morning, there's been so much by way of changing in terms of obviously where battery electric vehicles are playing a major part, but also in how we've adapted through this year with all of the changes that have been thrown at us through the I think that inevitably is going to see, in terms of the way in which all of our businesses operate, well, in an ever-changing market is critical, and to do we need to have people that are very well trained, that understand his need to operate, but also how to adapt for changes. So a proper training platform for the staff within the industry to be able to undertake and, if you like, allow them to develop. So it was, you know, as I've just said, really for me when coming to understand, if you like, look, if you like, underlying belief is that, you know, they operate as a common voice partners. And so to try and do with the academy is to provide a prospectus of courses that effectively covered all areas of the industry. Now, you know, I'm not professing to be an expert at absolutely everything. We're surrounded by people, both with the and those people that are already involved in the can support us with this. So if you like, what to do is provide nice and with a sector of the business, perhaps more offers engaging, real world usable for people that go through the sessions with us. It's very clear last 6 to 9 months pandemic that the world is ever 12 months ago. We would then be doing this 12 months on, you know, using virtual platforms to allow engagement. Who would have thought that the world of click and collect would be in this situation? So it's very important that the academy that supports developing an ever-changing vehicle. And as I touched on a few minutes ago, you know, all the discussions this morning have largely been around how the, if you like, types will to electrification or plug-in hybrid vehicles is going to put challenges in front of us in terms of the way in which the vehicle is prepared and offered to market. So what we intend to do is to put together a series of solutions which will be, as I say, evolving, but that are at the time. This already, but obviously we've got huge the example we'll want to draw on, and really what we want to try to provide solutions for future on the slide there, but the way in which we remarket, the way in which we install will be things that we those that are already ensure that you enjoy added value in being able to access reduce training off-the-shelf solutions that are very easily very simplistic OEMs and then importers, specialists, so the content tailored very specific now to support retailers that are in the network, both and also the to automotive marketing services, the auction personnel, and obviously remarketing and data service providers. I think probably we'll see what we are seeing as a consequence of what's gone on over the months is people having to adapt in their. That may mean that unfortunately people leave the industry, new people join it. And I'm very passionate that what we are able to do is provide a learning centre that's easily accessible for all and that can give a fair learning that can then be tailored to specific roles. Centric to this obviously is used vehicles, whether that's engines, as we've talked, HEVs or battery vehicles. Stage, the idea is not to replace any manufacturer training, but to support and supplement past experience with manufacturer-based training. But it's very, very good. But it isn't always you want to recruit your personnel, or perhaps have them engage of the business that they haven't done before. There's often a delay before the appropriate courses are running, and certainly within a few moments that what we want to try to do is make them accessible for your demands that much. Where we start effectively, obviously over a period of time, is that everybody will start with access, if you like, to general materials, which include vehicles and marketing. Look at where you can't. Courses that we have for updates at least once per year. Attend that any update materials advised on and given the opportunity either to re-attend the updated materials, or at least have knowledge and see what's changed. We're very mindful, of course, that, as I say, over the last 12 months, we've seen massive change within the industry, and it would be inappropriate to be running the same type of materials as would have been in place, for instance, 12 months ago. Just to give you an indication what we've started to work on, Wolfgang's alluded to the fact, of course, that we're looking towards launching in the third quarter of 2021. So we're already scoping out the trade on the list there, which will go through from a trading of vehicles, maximising sales opportunities, is into heavily from other CARA the content as a core that will spread, make sure that right up sales channel selection in terms of to performance management, personnel performance, something that we've been asked about regularly. After sales content, vehicles of reception. We're looking to try and ensure that we cover off the knowledge of the content and data that we have here is bang up to date. Creating a journey to see business, and then making sure that we're minimizing the lead time and preparation and refurbishment, and finally coming through into imagery. It's a very general prospectus at this stage. That's where we've got to with the session. But one of the things that we'll be looking to do will obviously draw on the requests that we have made in terms of need. That's where we're at. Already the foundation in place, residual forecasting strategy and methodologies. One of the things we'll show you in just a few minutes for the delivery, but also a little bit about the profile of trainers that. So what is that all they're engaging, they're informative, they're relevant, but want to try to is learned, if that makes sense. So for every session that we assessment which is run, get 40, and as well is that course materials through with it occur, we will then invite those delegates that have attended in the last 12 months to be up to date with the very latest. This course, so what we're looking to try to do, if you like, in terms of, and I'll cover that in just a few content, which is why I make this point, just repeating myself in terms of annual update. So if any changes, say, will be in what the development are, so that they support trends. Just touch very delivery method in a few moments. Is one which is distant. That's not to say that as circumstances forward, that we won't get ourselves a set of circumstances where face-to-face delivery becomes more appropriate, and very clearly that will all so that they match the really online, much shorter injection, if you like, of knowledge and learning than ever it is when it's a face-to-face. Primarily for us, my passion learning centre that doesn't stand still. So it will be critically important, effectively, that we are constantly looking at what the industry needs, its development of its people. We alluded to this in the pandemic, and very certainly for people on my side of the business, a complete move away from any face-to-face. So yeah, looking at by way of we evolve to that in terms of the interactive, the group very carefully. It means that you have out of the business you would have done physical delivery. Range of flex, so the way in which the deliveries are done maximize the ability for delegates, but also to assess the level of learning. Obviously, as traveling, which is the CARA mission, if you like, of the session, the content, maybe a longer course over a wider period of time, but not in terms of the sessions sense. So something that perhaps that used to be a one-day course might be split over 2 days, appropriate to know more. So hence the reason for the assessment. A long time now, of training has always led to a mixture, like, of absorb the information, but we're passionate in the academy to assess people's level of knowledge and engagement, to then offer for them to their specific role, help them with any other topics, obviously. In terms of material development, academy, but again, on. So we will try to respond to that as very best we can, and in those materials which are perfect at that time. And I think for that reason is that we've got engaged in this project, have the ability to be agile, recognize that reasonably quickly. Well, that we're all coming to terms. You know, the essence, able to deal with it. As you can probably tell from the UK, one in the UK for the audience was fairly, as you heard from the morning. All business left for that period from sort of March right the way through until early June. However, which I think we're now, has almost come as the norm, and that's how quickly the industry has been able. I think how we're all doing business via a different way now. The projects which I'm involved in means that contact with OEM, obviously during lockdown, they're closed, but doing very good business, can collect basis. So having delegated periods of time, but a real rapid based learning, very crucial in terms of making sure that people are develop their skill set as the business moves forward. By way of being trainers, roles, me being one of them. So they're independent, so they're not a service provider wedded to, if you like, any particular system, with a to provide something which is industry-wide and therefore particular system type or provider. That's in their field. You can perhaps see from which have been created so far, what we're looking to try to do is a stop, no matter which sector of the industry, data services provider, staff member, or whether you're based in retail or life, whether you the idea behind the if you like, you're able to access materials which are your staff and your staff's And so I think that this is that the trainers which are very much non-biased and sure that the materials that we provide aren't necessarily manufacturers. What we'll offer is a fast track. So the idea behind to your role, this will give you the basic levels of if you're remarketing as an industry. So we went back to the slide where I showed you the general materials. We'll look at an introduction both into the world of used vehicles, looking at some basic levels of how all elements of it in residual values. But that then can take you on to, if you like, looking at the specific roles. So at that point, they're able to, along with their manager, ensure sharing with them is appropriate and gives them an insight into be able to do their job that much better. So as an example here, if you looked at the beta track, we would recommend that they do the initial introduction to make sure that the processes that we have in behaviors of our people match the absolute customer experience, and that they're then it's not the basic not handle trading vehicles. So this an entry level on that track of having final customers. Track to marketing, but this will focus on the deep operation and refurbishment. As Wolfgang alluded to earlier, you know, the changes that in the shift that we've seen obviously in the last and the use of enhanced will be one of the areas that we'll focus. Ultimately, we'll move into sales channel selection. Thus, from this stage forward, someone who is, if you like, entering into this business world can then choose what other that they want to do to ensure that they keep their career path on track. And again, with their employer. And then finally, if again, we'll take the understanding of residual values, what are the best behaviours, what are the things that we need to consider, forecasting strategy. These will be paired to the appropriate, not suggesting this is a one size fits all, but does the basic introduction that will also the personnel involved best place for delivery on those specific. I made a point a few minutes ago that part of the issue as far as CARA is concerned in terms of what we use, in the fact we provide very good training. What we want to try and do in terms of training with CARA is that it has independent accreditation. So it's something that will be recognised obviously with the CARA branding, but it also both for the delegates that attend, but also for you know, employees looking at recruiting staff in the future. If you like it, passport. So they say, oh, I've accreditation through CARA, if you like, that it has real value. And as a consequence to this, you'll see in the slide we look to do the accreditation process for those persons over a period of time and maintain their learning curve. So you can see basic accreditation is achieved after attending the 3 courses that for all of them would count, and then it's maintained effectively by an annual update. Going back to the point I've made, the fact that as the materials evolve, the delegates will be able to have a look at what has been made, and that will ensure that their accreditation through the contained. They would receive a gold level for maintaining over a 3-year period. And clearly we would look to ensure that any new materials are obviously readily available for those delegates. And obviously if we, which we feel to existing learning, then we'll make sure that those delegates are aware of those materials. And then ultimately platinum level, which would be accredited after 5. So it requires the delegates to maintain their learning status, if you like, but also enable them additional. For the summit meeting today, you can see here there is obviously the enhancement for those members. So €300 for a half-day course, 500 for 2 half days. Obviously, in terms of there's a standard price of €1,100, but the launch offer at 745. And for those of you as non-CARA members, the standard fee per day and 750 for the 2 half. Again, as an introduction. And in terms of the fast starts, standard price of 1,650 and a launch offer of 1,050. Basically brings me to the end of the CARA Academy. If you want to register your interest, as Wolfgang touched on earlier, you'll be able to access the courses during the course of Q1 2021. But please do register your interest on the web address which is shown there. So training@caraeurope.org. And obviously, if you've got questions, I would ask that you put them onto the platform, and either myself or one of the other CARA Academy members will be back to you as quickly as we possibly can. And thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. And I think you're just on the time because it was foreseen for half an hour. Question on when it would start. I think because look this morning in the general meeting, I can answer that one as well. That will be in Q1, maybe more end of Q1, depending on share their interest on this through the website ways like email. Anything you would like to add, Wolfgang?
No, that's fine.
As
I said, we will.
This session is now. There's another break.
No, everything is fine. And if there's a question, please contact CARA directly, and we will give you all the detailed information. Okay. Okay, great. Then Wolfgang, Ian, thanks very much for this session. And later in the sponsors or award ceremony. Thanks very much.